Welcome back to part 2 of We Bought a Fish Room. Check out the chaos. Welcome back to SandersAquatics. So we are now on part 2 of I Bought a Fish Room. Hopefully there's just going to be a part 3. I'm old. I'm getting more out. Let me tell you, I'm going to go ahead and apologize because I've got an absolute mess. And I'm even going to show you my messy garage here because I got a bunch of it out there too. Thankfully, I have a very forgiving wife. And she asked me, how long is it going to take you to get all this stuff cleaned up? In about a week. She really knows it's actually probably 2 or 3 weeks. But she gets it. She understands and she tolerates me. And I appreciate her. But I'm going to start off with a big old thank you to the folks that showed up to help move a lot of this stuff. Thank you. I'm not going to put any names out there, but you are awesome. And for the one that asked me, not caffeinated. So we'll keep on with that. Let me show you what all we've picked up here. Even though I got a humongous mess, I'm going to show you a lot of what I picked up. And I have one fish that I know about that much about that Google is not helping me. And I asked the gentleman and he rambled off a scientific name and was going to text it to me and I never got it. So we'll see. Let's go through all this crazy stuff that we got here. Where do we want to start? We'll start here with the stuff. All right, so got a bunch of airline fittings right there. Those were in my pocket while we were moving stuff. This whole box is plumb full of heaters, and for those of y'all that stay tuned in here, ink birds. Ink birds are good for helping to control your heaters from completely melting your tank. I just had that happen. It was awful, and a couple different people suggested I get this, and conveniently they were in a lot of this stuff. But whole box just plumb full of heaters. It's like there's a box in there. This is probably gonna be kind of a long video, so you might want to get you a drink or take a tinkle or whatever it is you're gonna do. These rocks here, I was looking for these when I moved these catfish last night. I did not move this, and those are good rocks. If you're a fish nerd like me, you know what a good rock is. These are good rocks. But we'll keep on moving on down there. We got us a hang on the back filter, which I'm not a big fan of, except for he was just like I am and hates buying those cartridges. Can't stand buying cartridges. Oh, let's keep on going here. What else we get in here? I have no idea. You know what those would be good for? Brine shrimp batteries. Some more filters in there, some airline tubing, a couple little hideouts. I haven't even been through all this stuff. I don't even know what all was in here. More hideouts, a couple fake plants in there. Timeout box. That's right. If you know, you know. Lots of cool stuff in there, huh? And we got more. That's right. Cool rocks. Yeah, buddy. If you're a fish nerd, you know. Extra Python, one of those is mine. We helped to drain some tanks today. More cool rocks. Oh, yeah. Big old box over here. I've seen these, never had one, never gotten to use one, but I'm excited. This is a breeder box. There's 2 of these in here. I know there's 2 in here. Bags. Who can't use bags? Oh, empty snail shells, airline tubing, submersible pumps, inkbird boxes, air fitting adapters. Who doesn't need that? Man, that's almost full. That's a whole lot of prime in there. Look at all these goodies in here. Cichlid pellets. Oh, yeah. Hungry, hungry fish. Let's keep on going. All right, so we got ourselves a whole nother box of flatter rocks. This is one of the things I'm super excited for. I've never had one, always wanted one. It was intended on putting one in here. The pump. This will probably run every single one of these tanks. And these gentlemen I was speaking with, I've never set one of these up, gave me a couple of good tips. Make sure that they're above the tanks so it doesn't create a suction that basically goes through and drains your tanks. And the other one was to make sure that I have a complete open loop. Those are the two suggestions I'm aware of. If you have any more, let me know, because that's going to be a project for me. But we got some more super cool rocks. Yeah, I love my rocks. This bad boy, big old canister filter. Let's show you a couple of the fish here. So these guys are not in their permanent home at the moment right now. There's going to be one hiding in here for sure, so make sure you're ready. Are you on it? Mm-hmm. Look at these guys. We're in a discussion on what these actually are. I'm pretty sure they're Petricola. There's about 8 of them in here. They're a breeding group. But those are, I am almost positive those are Petricolas. And when he said he was sold them, he was told they were something else. There's a breeding group of about 8 of them. That's going to be a fun breeding project for me. But they're going to have either a 40 or 75. I'm not sure which one I'm going to end up putting them in. We have in here, this is not his permanent home, but he's just hanging out in here. We got ourselves one big old Calvis that just ran off. Can you see him? I don't know where he went. He's hanging out with some OV peacocks, and they'll all get along just fine. But he's got a shell apparently he's partial to that I put in the tank with him. And I usually keep this as just an algae-infested bare bottom tank, but I added a bunch of stuff in here just in case. There he goes, going into his shell. Boy, ain't he pretty. Calvises are something else. We got our couple little shell dwellers up here. These guys I'm not super familiar with. All right, we have one boy and a couple of its offspring. And then there was a Lay Lupe that was in the tank with them. At Lay Lupe, I'll eventually move him. But they were together in the same tank. I think they're going to be okay. But this is not necessarily their permanent homes. There's only a couple that I actually put in their permanent homes. But let's keep on to more of the stuff that we picked up here. So we have a 40-gallon, a 20-gallon, a 55. The 40 was up and running. The 20 and the 55 were not. The 40 or the 55 is going to go next to this 55. But this 55, and it's kind of tough to see that it was some newer substrate that I have in there, so it's still a little bit cloudy. But look at them Calvises. That is a breeding group of Calvises. There's one boy and 3 girls in there. Can you see them? Nope, can't see them. Let's get them to come out. Can you get any better view of them?
It's cloudy.
It's too cloudy to see, huh? Well, we're going to have to get them in a later video. But we have 4 75s that we picked up. We got one down in the basement. There's a bunch of old farts and one young kid trying to move all this stuff. So there's 3 that are currently up in the garage right now. I'll show you some of that stuff. It's going to be cool. But we got this one down here. This is one of the racks for the 75. I'm going to end up anchoring it to my ceiling. And then I'm going to have another rack that's going to hold 2 more 75s right here. So this is going to be real cool to be able to have 4 75s set up right here. But that's going to be awesome. We got a whole box more goodies. We're almost to the fish that I need some help with. I don't even know what all was in these. I said, I haven't really even gone through all this. These little guys, great for feeding brine shrimp. Yeah. Rubber bands, air pumps, more rocks, air stones, timers, more shells, more shells. I don't even know what all this is. Oh, yeah. If you know, you know. Those are good. We'll put them to use. All kinds of goodies down in here. I got my work cut out for me, that is for sure. Getting through all this, sorting through all of this, and trying to get my fish room back organized. When I got home, my awesome wife spent time cleaning up down here, cleaning up in the basement, making it, or in the garage, and I came home and trashed it all. So we got more fitting there, fake plant. That had some kind of purpose at some point. Be a good little breeding plant. Another air, or another water pump. More air pumps, another water pump. All kinds of goodies in there. I'm excited. Got my work cut out for me. And on to these guys over here. Check these guys out. I showed them to you in the bucket last night, and I'm not 100% sure that this is their permanent tank. This is a tank that I had the heater fail on that I moved out of my garage into my basement. But this fish right here, they call it a feather fin. That's what he kept calling it. I know very little about them other than they are open swimmers. You got a real good zoom in on this?
Yeah.
That's the boy, and he's got 3 girls that are with him. I don't know what this is. If you know the scientific name, please comment on this video so that I can do my research properly. I know they're an open water swimmer. I know they're doing fine right now, seem to be okay. They're eating. They're in here with one massive frontosa, and he needs a name. So I'm looking for names for my frontosa, and I need to know what this fish actually is so that I can do a little more research. I need to know. I know one of you guys knows. So maybe somebody keeps them, but they were calling them a feather fin, but I don't know what the name of them is to be able to really dig into it. And he needs a name too. Somebody commented on one of my shorts and they suggested Elvis, and I'm kind of liking it. That may end up being his name, but I want some more input on it. But we have this rack right here that's going to hold our 40s. So I have this 40 here, and I've got one out in the garage. This is actually upside down right now. But we're going to take it because my wife told me I had to, and we're going to put it right here. So I'll have 2 40s on top of each other right here. And then I've got another rack that came with this that there is a 29-gallon tank over there and this 20. So I'll be able to put the 29 on the top and the 20 on the bottom, and I'll have another 2 more tanks there too. Lots of doing. Those tanks, he said, have been sitting for about a year. So I'm going to go through and reseal them. I can run another video on reseal them, but I already did one. If you want me to run another one, let me know. I don't care to go through and do it because I got to do it anyway. I'd be glad to show you guys. But now we're going to move on to the rest of the stuff, and you're going to go into my extremely messy garage right now because moving one big tank out of there and all the storage, it looks like my garage is absolutely thrown up. But I don't really hide anything, so come on, let's go check it out. All right, here we are out in the garage, and I told you, it's a mess. It is very claustrophobic. If you're claustrophobic, you don't want to be out here right now. But we have all kinds of lights that are sitting on the wife's deep freeze, so she's going to kick my butt if I don't get those off of there very soon. I have a 75 that's sitting right in front of the deep freeze that, same thing. I don't really need my butt kicked. Got filter over here. This is the big boy here. This is the 180. If you've ever tried to move a 180, it's not fun. We've got 2 more 75s down here. So we're going to end up with four 75s total set up. My 180 is going to go on this big wall over here. So that 40 is going to come out. The breeding trio there in there is going to have to come out, and I'll have the other 40 set up for them and let them go down in the basement, and my little tool thing is going to have to move. And then the 180 is going to go on this wall right here. I've got this FX6 that was included in everything that I got. A lot of those decorations came out of that 150 I've got down in the basement. I just hadn't had time to put them back in. It's been a busy couple days, but and a big old terracotta pot. Everybody loves terracotta. Look how big this thing is. Wow, my whole hand goes down in there easy. This thing is big, but it's made for this and to put in there. And if you know anything about terracotta pots and bigger fish, they like going into them. But got a whole lot of work. Let's go back down to the basement because it's cold out here. All right, back down in the basement. Sorry about the quality on the video out there. We got one of the light bulbs that went out in the ceiling, and once again, been really, really busy. Ain't had time to change it out, and it's cold out there. But sure got my work cut out for me. I am not a spring chicken anymore. My back hurts, body hurts. I went into it with the mentality of a 20-year-old as we was getting all this done today, and we got it all here. That's about as far as we got, but it's going to be awesome when it's all said and done. I've got a ton of work ahead of me. I got some new experiences. I got some new fish. I got a couple new air pumps and things that I get to set up, and I have a whole lot of really cool, neat decorations and different size tanks that I get to go through and I get to work with and set up and make my own. But I got some new breeding projects that are coming out of this too. So, man, it's going to be awesome. Stay tuned for the ride. We'll do a part 3 once it's all set up. Thanks again for watching Sanders Aquatics. Please like and subscribe.